Hey, it's Mike with DRUMline. I'm with somebody I've been chasing for a while because I did a drum tech story a few years ago, and the only thing I got from your story was some of your amazing pictures. So I'm with John Douglas, a master artist, drummer, drum tech, and we're going to go into each one of those things in a little history of John Douglas, your musical career. So you are John Douglas.
I am.
And also people refer to you as
Probably one of the many, but
if you look in the phone book, there's a lot of John Douglas.
Yes, it is.
But there's only one JD, and that's you as well.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, John.
Yes.
You play the drums.
I do.
Now, did that get you into kind of the artwork you started doing, or was it your art background that got you into the artwork? Or the combo?
Combo. I mean, all I remember is both art and music was more specifically art and drums, my passion from the beginning. So, but I think certainly music was the forefront. I was trying to make it as a drummer was the forefront, and then art was the hobby around that. And when you're in bands, you know, well, guess what? The band needs a logo, and then maybe the band needs a backdrop, and the band needs flyers. So I did all that all the time in every band that I was ever in, and until it finally culminated into of me wanting my drums to look cool, because I was inspired by guys like Alex Van Halen or the Myron Grumbacher with the great drum kits that he had. So I started painting my drums and doing weird stuff to my drums to look cool, you know. So and to be, you know, make a statement as a drummer, and I guess as an artist too. So that was still back in Houston, Texas, in a local band, and to where the guys from ZZ Top would come out and see my band because they live in Houston. And one day I met Frank Beard, the drummer, and he said, "Hey man, who painted your drums?" And I was like, "I did." And he goes, "Hey, would you want to paint drums for me?" I was like, "Yeah, man, sure." And that's how that started. It was just an extension of, I just wanted my drums to look cool. That's all. That's all I was interested in. Yeah.
Or the Ludwig Booth, and you talked about Myron Grumbacher, and he had a tattoo kit. Remember that tattoo kit?
I do. Absolutely.
Anyway, I bought the Ludwig version of the Corey Miller kit that came out, because that thing's wicked, man. There weren't very many of those around, but I got one.
That's cool. Yeah, that was a good-looking kit too. But the Myron kit, the Japanese kit.
Oh, I didn't remember that one.
In the rack too, not just the paint job,
right,
but the rack was an awesome piece of sculpture. Because I look above and beyond the paint job. It's like the drum kit to me is a sculpture in how it's set up, and that kit in particular is just etched into my brain as a work of art right down the line. And Myron is a killer drummer and did incredible things on that kit. So
when I saw them play that kit, he actually stood up on it at the end, and I didn't realize it until he did that, but that was a very flexible rack. Like it moved like crazy.
That thing moved, yes.
He was like a gymnast.
He put like one foot on the rack tom and one foot on the stand and hit the gong. He was an animal.
Oh, he's one of my favorite players for just a great drummer. He could play any kind of groove, but just his athleticism was amazing. I loved it. And it wasn't pretentious in any way. It was just like he was just flying back there.
Yeah, yeah, incredible.
One of the best drummers ever.
Yep.
What is up with Myron Grumbacher? Is he around?
Yeah, I saw him here today.
No, I would die. I think I would die.
I saw him. I almost ran into him. I ran into him at the Pork Pipe, at my buddy Bill Dedemore's booth over there at Pork Pipe Percussion, who makes great drums. And I ran into him there, and I ran into him at Bill's at another NAMM show in the past. So we seem to meet there.
I'd probably be like, Myron Grumbacher, I don't know what to say.
I already did that. I already did the full Chris Farley, you know, interview with him.
Remember when you were in Bad Benatar? That was awesome.
Yeah, you played that awesome kid. That was that was me.
Yeah, you did it for me. Okay.
Yeah, I did that.
You embarrassed yourself for me, but that's okay. You can do that because your kits are amazing. I mean, you even made a kit for your son.
I did.
And that thing, I thought it's so cool. That's kind of like your basic jazz setup, but you had like 2 side drums.
Yeah, I made him 2 gong bass drums.
Did you play those, or what's going on there?
Played him at a school. They did Crazy Train at a school talent show, and that's the only time he's ever used them. I mean, it's totally ridiculous, but I specialize in ridiculous. So that's actually his second kit. He's always had custom. When he was 2, I built him his first kit, 18-inch floor tom, into a kick drum and a 10-inch rack tom, and I took power toms, and they were all Thomas superstars from the 80s, like great shells, and I put custom paint jobs when he was 2. So, you know, I've spoiled him early.
Is it Jake Douglas? Jake Douglas, and the band's Contagious.
Contagious.
Now, there's another kid, there's a couple other kids now in that band, right?
Yeah, he's got the full band. They gig.
We started out with just one other kid that played guitar.
Yeah.
And then did a video called Someday, and that is so damn catchy. That is crazy good song.
It's a cool, thank you. They wrote it. They wrote it when I was on a Van Halen tour, and my wife would send me video clips, and this was when they were 10.
Yeah.
Him and Mac, Jake and Mac were 10, and so I got home from that tour, and I heard the song, and I helped them flesh out a verse and stuff, but they had the hook, and they had the riff, and that's the song. So yeah, I took them into the studio, and they recorded it, and it's on iTunes. So Contagious, One Day.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's great. That's really good. Oh, it's One Day. I said Someday.
Yeah, One Day.
Someday I'll be as good as Contagious, and they're 10.
That's right. Yeah. Now they're 14.
They're 14. They're getting.
Yeah.
They've been at it a long time. They're like, hey, dude, remember when we were 10?
Yeah, they do that. When they play gigs and they announce that song, they say, yeah, we wrote this when we were 10, and we were in 3rd grade or whatever it was. It's funny. Yeah. It's good.
Well,
and the girls scream. It's awesome.
Talk about the Van Halen kit real quick behind you that you built. Chrome and brass?
That's actually copper.
Oh, copper.
Which is nice and dark. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, that's right. If there was brass here, you would see the difference.
Sure.
The copper's a lot darker.
I get it. My look, I got a chemistry degree. I should know my metals. Some of them are heavy.
Well, your head. Yes. Good. Yeah. So it's a maple kit. It's not. Okay. A lot of people think it's stainless steel, but it's a maple kit with chrome wrap and copper hardware and a lot of shine.
Can I touch the kit for good luck?
Yes.
Okay. Just like one of the toms that was actually played.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Now, was that the...
Now I'm going to have to wipe that fingerprint off.
Oh, he has to wipe that off, yeah. Was that the... you guys are very detailed on that. You know, you're really cleaning that stuff over and over. If you read the text story or the whole deal of the whole day, the amazing work you guys do. So, when you come up with this kit, what do you do with the artist? Does he give you ideas, or do you say whatever?
I mean, when I do a kit for somebody, I mean, every job is different. Some guys come to me with... They know exactly what they want. They send me some images, and we go back and forth until I basically have to share their vision, or understand it, so that I can produce it. And then guys like Frank Beard from ZZ Top, I've been painting drums for him now for 25 years or more. You know, so I painted, I think, 19 or 20 drum kits for him.
Did you design like the chrome, like in motor look, or do you do some of the hardware as well? Besides painting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Frank's rack, I designed that rack, and I built that back at home in Texas. And with him, because he triggers his toms and stuff, so I can do a lot more crazier things with the ZZ drums. Yeah, and I carved some skulls that pop out of the bass drums, and it's I got a longer leash with those guys because I've known them for a long time, and it's fun because again I got the long creative leash. So each kid I kind of raised the bar with the craziness and stuff. So it's fun. It's good. I like it. But other guys, you know, and with Al, I mean, it's his kit, his vision, and I just try to facilitate it. He'll let me throw in some ideas. Some, you know, it's a collaborative. At best, but you know, it's his kit, and I just try to help him realize it and make it rock solid, and then so I can build it every night for him.
Was this the kit on this tour this summer?
Yeah.
Because I saw that tour, and then is it the same kit that went to Nashville?
Yes, same kit that went to Nashville.
I thought it looks different somehow. But I had some other of the kits got mixed up in my brain. But they're all beautiful, and you actually went to Nashville for it took the kit, and then all the Nashville drummers played it.
Yeah, it was a really cool event. I mean, I've never done it before. I don't live in Nashville. David Parks put that thing on, and I was, you know, I set the thing up with him, and I got there the day before for the rehearsals, and it's a really, really family vibe with all those drummers there, and there was wives and girlfriends and kids at the rehearsal. And the band was like super well rehearsed. This guy named Chris Nix on guitar, he's a lefty, was just killer. And they worked hard to learn all these songs, and then all these drummers picked the tunes. And they invited me to play, so at the last minute I played a tune.
Yeah.
And so they were very warm and welcoming, and everybody, just like me, is a big Van Halen fan, and in particular a big Alex Van Halen fan. You know, so for me, you know, I drew Van Halen logos on my notebooks in school, and I went to those concerts, and like I say, his drumming and his drum kits totally inspired me when I was a kid to now do what I do, and now I get to do it for him. It was great. The National Drummers Jam was a success. It was a lot of fun, and all for a good cause. Raised a bunch of money. It was cool.
Hey, I got news for you. A lot of kids wrote Van Halen logos on their notebooks. There's only one JD though,
Well,
and I'm gonna give you a thank you. You want to thank you?
Well, thank you.
No, I'm gonna thank you for something you weren't thinking about.
Oh, okay.
I've been here since like 2, and you know, a lot of times I'm running around and I see people in the aisle. Then I pull over, I set up my camera. It's a lot of work, but I didn't have to move today because everybody came by to see the Van Halen kit. So I just set up shop, and I like, you want to interview? You want to interview? You line them up. It was very easy for me because everybody wanted to see this kit. It's probably the highlight of the show for drummers this year, for sure. And you thought the R40 kit was something last year. How are you going to top it, NAMM? And everybody's mind is blown by this kit. It's simple, but it's amazing.
Well, thank you. I mean, and yeah, the R40 kits. I'm again as jaded as I am, if you will. I'm still a fan, and I'm still a drum geek. You know, so I like to look at the details, and so I appreciate that people like to look, you know, at the kits I help create, and certainly to look at all the details of the kit, and this is exactly the way. This is exactly how we set it up. This is the tour kit. It's exactly how we finished the tour at the Hollywood Bowl. It's got the same heads on it. So yeah, I appreciate that people like to look at that stuff because I'm that guy too.
Van Halen at the Hollywood Bowl. How can you beat it?
You
Well,
can't.
thank you so much, JD.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Pleasure.